Right, welcome back to Hazard Perception. Today we're going to look at the hazard perception test and how it's made and how to pass it, or hopefully give you the advice in how to pass it. But what is the test? Well, the test was created in 2002 to help determine an individual's reaction to potential situations. How's the test comprised, Baz?
First of all, namaste to everyone. I hope you will enjoy our hazard perception introduction video. Well, the test itself, there are obviously two types of tests, one for the car and one for the lorry. Hazard perception for the car, there will be 14 video clips. One of them will have double hazard, that makes 15 scoreable hazards. And the top mark for each of the hazard will be 5 points, and then the total score will be 75. The pass mark is 44 to pass the hazard perception part of the test on car. In a similar manner for the lorry, it's a similar sort of test but more video clips, 19 video clips. One of them will have double hazard, therefore it makes 20 scoreable hazards. Same sort of thing, top mark is 5 for each of the clip, 100 is the total score or maximum score you can gain, pass mark is 67. For the lorry, it's a separate test. Hazard perception is a separate test and multiple choice is a separate test. For the car, it forms part of one test, so the candidate will have to pass both part of the test on the same sitting.
Okay, so the scoring window itself, we talk about the scoring window on the timelines. So I'm led to believe the scoring windows are all open for 4 seconds and they're marked down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the earlier that you respond, so how do I know that my score's been recognised if I'm responding? How do I know that it's actually been counted?
Well, the way it's supposed to work is when the candidate, or we see the hazard appearing or trying to sort of is changing situation or a little bit of hazardous situation, and then the candidate will react to it. To signify the DVSA that you have reacted or you took the foot off the gas pedal or something like that, or braking, you will have to click on your mouse button on the mouse, and that will be registered on the window on the computer as a flag.
As a red flag.
Yes,
it's a red flag.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is quite technical. So realistically, you could potentially, if you're putting these tests together, be slightly out, because you've got to be pretty accurate with these scoring windows. And one of the things that we looked at with candidates, for instance, because we train B and C theory at this classroom department. One of the things that you've got to be aware of is the speed in which these guys, the difference in speed in which they react. They react so quickly. Some of them are, you could actually fall asleep for 10 minutes before they actually respond to something, but some are so quick. There is a potential that they could be that window. But the most important thing is where do they put those? Because we don't know.
We don't. Yeah.
And I did notice, what do you think to the introduction video that the DVSA have put on before every test? Now they show you how the test works. Do you think that is quite an ambiguous look? Do you think it's confusing?
It is in a way a little bit misleading on the potential hazards. They talk about potential hazards, not to take any action or not to react to the potential hazards. Those potential hazards could be a real hazard as well. So that is a little bit misleading. So
it's not real life. It's in a lot of respects they're staged.
Absolutely.
I mean, on a notice on one video, driving down the road, and we know that the definition for driving of a hazard is something that causes you to change speed or direction. On the first part of the video, you've got a white van or car pulling out from the right-hand side, which is obscured by an oncoming vehicle. It passes at the back of the vehicle, and at the end of that, I would react to it straight away because I take my foot off the gas pedal. But the narrator is turning around and saying there is no need to respond to this one as it does not develop. Well, I think develop is a bad word. The definition of a hazard is something because you slow down or change direction. Coming off your gas pedal, the vehicle is slowing down. So surely that is warranted a response.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What do you think to the car that comes down from the left, which they've actually put the scoring window on? Do you think it's easy to see?
No, it's obviously most of the hazards they have created is not accurate, to be fair, and then you'll be able to see the hazard appearing, but they expect us to recognize the hazard before that. So that means we would have missed that scoring window anyway, the first scoring window.
And then he talks about over-responding and responding in a pattern, and a white screen coming up on the screen with a big red cross. It encourages you to actually not respond, to actually stay back, and because it's a test, and anybody in a test environment will actually be nervous to start with. It encourages you not to respond. So the scoring window is put on there. The video's a stage, we can take that for granted. They put that scoring window at a place where they know there's going to be a problem. We don't know that, and I suppose that's real. And we're going to show you in this video clip now just how the scoring window looks. We can't see it, it's embedded into the video itself. As if approaching the junction on the right hand side, there's a tractor pulling out. Simultaneously, the scoring window appears embedded in a timeline below, marked 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That scoring window is open for a period of 4 seconds. Now, as soon as we see the tractor emerging from the right, that is when we respond. As you can see, there's a car just in front of the junction, and the tractor will go around the back of it, and that is something that potentially could cause us a problem. So we slow down. So that's one situation that we're looking at, how the scoring window is embedded into the timeline, predetermined by the person that is saying it.
Creating
it. Is there a time when this has gone wrong?
Well, I suppose hazard perception is the perception of individual. Therefore, the other person cannot proceed this in a similar manner. But I think what I would say is there are quite a lot of hazards that emerges from the side roads, left or right. Therefore, it's always better to look out. Look well away from the road we're driving, and always have a peripheral view of the side roads, and taking in any sense of speeding traffic from the side roads.
So it's a bit like right and left. If you ever played Call of Duty, for instance. And I think when we're training, we always look at the Call of Duty programme as, where you're going into theatre, every moving target is enemy, take it out. Watch and shoot, watch and shoot. The moment you see it, all right, take it out if it's coming from the right and left. And that's pedestrian, cyclist or car, which is it does work. However, we've noticed on some videos, that there's a problem where they've actually placed a scoring window. They're not all uniformed. As soon as something's merging, they don't always open at the same time as soon as you see something. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's, there's a delay in a way in the scoring window being activated, isn't it? So people tend to click early and then don't click in between. Therefore, they will miss.
They miss it. Yeah. And I mean, you always get people coming out of testing in the early days saying, "I click too early." Well, you can't click too early. There has to be something there to respond to.
Yeah.
And we're going to show you in this next video clip a situation where the scoring window doesn't open straight away, and it's a moment. It's about a second before it opens, and how easy it is for you to miss that scoring window. And then we'll show you how to rectify that. So we're going to run another video for you now. Right, so as we're looking at this video again, which is the same video as was shown previously, on the approach to the junction, there's a tractor going to come out of the junction again in the same place. All of a sudden we've clicked, there's no scoring window, because the scoring window is fractionally out of timing. what we're doing now is we're backing that up. So we're taking into consideration that there's quite a percentage of videos that are fractionally out. This might be an over-exaggeration, but it depends on how quickly people click that mouse. They could miss a scoring window with just one response. So what we want you to do for every response that you do, where there's a scoring window, is click, count 1, 2, and click again. Use the starter of the vehicle or cyclist or pedestrian coming from the right or the left as your starter. We've just watched that video, and we're going to ask you is that, the scoring window opened a fraction later than when we first saw the vehicle moving round the back of that car. And that is on quite a few clips where the scoring window doesn't open when it should do. It's a fraction of a second out, and you've also got people that click the mouse quicker than others. Taking that on board, if you look at it in a real time, say I've got 2 flags in every scoring window. Does it count the lowest score?
No, it always takes the highest score. So if you had clicked quite a few clicks on that particular video, it always takes the highest score anyway. But to make sure, I would always encourage the students or candidate to back up by a couple of clicks in between, but not in a rhythmatic or patterned way. You're going to have to pause for a while. For example, by counting click 1, 2, click 1, 2, 3, you're kind of breaking the pattern there.
So what you're looking at is, yes, you're doing a test, but there's a method into how you approach the responses. And it's not questioning your ability, we're questioning the software. You know, in real times, we only get one opportunity to react. This test, there's going to be so many times we're going to get it wrong. And we want you to score on every single response. We have a 99.5% pass rate in all categories by listening to the guys and what the guys actually teach. We virtually, it's not very often I see a failure has a perception in any category come out of this. You have to strip it back. You mentioned Cat C, the Cat C test. Our biggest fail point right at the beginning was Cat C. We don't get that anymore. And I presume that is down to experience, because there's a lot of situations that an experienced driver on these video clips wouldn't even pay homage to. No. Because they've already worked it out subconsciously. You have to, if you're doing your Cat C or your D as an experienced driver, you have to treat this, I'm sorry to say, as a game.
Yeah, and going back to basics.
Back to basics. Back
to the drawing board.
Back to the drawing board.
Being a learner car driver, that is what they have to think.
Which is a shame. We're going to show you a video now that is correct, all right, with the 2 responses. And in this particular video, the window opens at the right time. So on this particular video, same situation, we're approaching the junction, we've got the tractor pulling out from the right hand side, and in this case the scoring window opens immediately where it should do. All right, we respond as soon as we see it, we score 5 points. What we've just said to you, count 1, 2, then respond again. As Baz said, the first response or the highest response is the one that counts. All right, now you need to adapt this for every video that you're doing, from right and left, pedestrian, cyclist or car. Now going to move on to a video which does come up again, they're test videos. In theory, multiple choice, there's a question about driving in built-up areas and using additional resources at your disposal to help with your observation. Can you remember what the question was?
I think it's especially the junction with the restricted view, we have to use all the resources available to spot the hazard early. looking for clues.
And there's one big one, isn't there?
Yeah, that's you may be able to see the hazard coming from or emerging from left or right on the shop windows or any windows.
So reflection.
Yeah, reflection. Yeah.
And the video we're just about to show you now is showing you a video clip that is part of one of the questions on the test, which is about the reflection. So as we run the video, we're going to stop the video just short, and I'm going to explain to you what we're actually looking at, and then you'll be able to see quite clearly where you'd respond. And the difference of responding when we see the reflection to when we actually see the physical vehicle is over a second, and that could be the difference between 5 and 3 points. So I'm going to show you that video now. So as you look at this estate, you see it driving down the road. The road is wet, all right, and we're going past the green on the left hand side, and you can see a bungalow window just sticking out. We'll see a reflection of a van coming from the left hand side. That is the moment that the scoring window opens on the reflection. At this point we would respond, and a red flag should appear at the bottom of the screen. We count 1, 2 and then respond again. Now this video is, this clip is out of the test, and look at the difference. By the time you physically see the van, you could have scored 4 or 3. So look at the reflection. It'll give you a better, and you'll see this video clip on test. That is where the 5 points would be. Again, as we've said, as soon as we say when you've used the word peripheral vision, you've used the word, be alert. They've put these video clips together. They know exactly where the scoring windows are. This is a little bit of a game for us, which is a little bit of a problem in some respects, because like I said, some people are quicker than others. But it's to get that used to the fact that it is not a perfect test. It is slightly out, some of the scoring windows are, or is it the fact that an individual is so much quicker than the next one and they miss it? On the last video clip we're going to show you, we've looked at right and lefts, and there's a lot more advice out there on YouTube and other places for you to sort of take on board. We've looked at right and left, so the right and lefts are so easy. As you've said, as soon as you see it, respond. The scoring window is not there, or somebody's too quick with the old trigger. Right? That second response, or even that third response, all right, will be enough for you to get the point. We're going to look at hazards that are coming towards us, and this is one that really threw me, where the scoring windows were. And it's about where they put a scoring window on traffic coming towards us. We're going to show you a vehicle going down a hill, it's raining, towards a narrow bridge. Now, an LGV driver would, in my opinion, as soon as he goes over the brow of the hill, he would start to slow down and change, because you can see quite clearly in the distance there is a car coming through. It's a narrow bridge. He's going to react earlier. Taking that on board, the scoring window will be in exactly the same place as it will be for a car driver. Now the car driver might delay that a little bit because he's got more control, there's more response over the vehicle. And this is where it becomes a problem for people with experience. So we're going to show you that video now and tell you where the scoring window is, and I'm also going to give you a little bit of advice, back me up, how often I would respond going down that hill and whether it would be a pattern. Yeah. So we'll run that video now and show you how oncoming traffic and impact, and we use the word impact, and explain that in a little bit more detail in a second as we run through the video. As we play it, as we look down the hill, we can see the first car coming through. Now I would have responded 1, 2 for that, but the second one, again, I would respond for that one because it's under the bridge.
Yeah.
I click, 1, 2, click. Where they've put the scoring window is on the third car, because it will be there at the same time as you, which doesn't make sense. No. So click, 1, 2, click. That's, but it doesn't make sense, and they call it impact. So they're looking at hazards coming towards us as where you would impact, and I find that very difficult for somebody that's not experienced to be able to work impact out. So right and left's piece of cake. Yeah. Impact's a little bit of a problem. There's another video, I don't know whether you've seen it, with the fire engine. There's a fire on the left-hand side of the road, isn't there? And you're a bit of a dual carriageway, urban dual carriageway, and there's a fire engine coming towards us. The fire's on the left-hand side. You know, as soon as I mean, this is me, this is real. As soon as I see those blue lights and I see the fire, I'm going to respond. I'm going to slow down. And you think, well, that's the right time to do it. And where do they put it? At the point where it would, if you don't stop, you'll hit each other, impact. And you're thinking, my word, you know, that's not real. Again, do you think it's a cast iron test? Do you think it's a foolproof test?
Not really. However, it is what it is. The test is designed by DVSA. We can't do nothing about it. But all we can do is we can sort of learn how to win over the game, I suppose. And to do that, I think in this particular situation, I would add other things as well. I would always look for a clue of what to expect for the down the road. For example, narrow brace coming down there. So always expect some sort of hazard there to cause you to stop or slow down. So in a way, be mindful to start clicking, if necessary, back up as well. I think in that way, you don't get it wrong.
I think sometimes it's pure luck. We've had scores 75 out of 75.
Of course, yeah.
And 100 out of 100. And
did I tell you that he was Gurkha?
Would be a Gurkha as well.
But 100 out of 100 on Cat C as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he wasn't a Gurkha.
Well, there you go. So, Gurkha's no better. I suppose it's actually that used to being a sniper, mate. I know where it is. It is a test that you've got to do for ticking the box. If you want to move on to the practical element, you've got to do it. It's not ideal. It has pitfalls. We're not there to question why the test is in place. I do believe the DVSA genuinely put the test there to test an individual's perception. But I do believe that it's not, because it's not uniformed, it can create a problem. So what we'd like to say on that, Baz, and I'd like to thank Ian on the mixer and the videos. I hope it is of some help to you, and I hope it helps you pass your test. Watch and shoot. Watch and shoot.
Yeah, there you go, guys. But probably many of our viewers, our listeners who hasn't got the military background, may not know what's in suit and what's in suit is.
Well, they need to get out there more. Thank you very much for your time, and good luck with your test. Good luck.